In Acts 27, Paul and the prisoners are going to sail to Italy, and they're having trouble along the way. The wind was blowing opposite direction of the ship. They stopped at a place called Fair Havens, and Paul could see the danger ahead. He warned them about the but soon moment and not to sail, and they would not only lose their items, but also could lose their lives. And as they were sailing, the Bible says the south winds blew gently, and they thought everything was all good, and that's when the but soon moment hits. And that's when it usually hits, when everything seems to be okay. Some people only pray and read the word when life goes wrong. But when everything is okay, that's when we need to seek Him and spend time in prayer. Because that's how we prepare ourselves for the but soon moment. How else are you going to know that God is a provider of all things? How else are you going to know that even your worst situation has a benefit? How else are you going to know that God is always with you during your but soon moment if you don't spend time with Him? Life is like a ship, and we're sailing through this temporary life, and there's storms throughout this entire journey, some worse than others. Paul and the other prisoners were caught in the storm, but soon a tempestuous wind called the northeaster struck down from land, and when the ship was caught and could not face the wind, we gave way to it and were driven along. But no matter how bad our storms are, we have supports. Verse 17 says that they use supports to undergird the ship. And God is our supports. He holds us up during the storm. Sometimes we have to come close to losing it all before we realize what we don't need. Since they were violently storm-tossed, they began the next day to jettison the cargo. Get rid of the fancy clothes, cars, jewelry, material things. Get rid of anger, hatred, bitterness, anything that we don't need. The storm lasted for many days, and all of their hope was gone, according to verse 20. And the angel comes to Paul, and he pretty much says, you're going to make it through because you have to go see Caesar. In verse 24, it says, do not be afraid, you must see Caesar. And that tells me no matter what storms we go through, no matter how much damage we take, no matter how much we have to throw overboard, we're going to be all right until we fulfill God's purpose. And eventually, they made it to land after a shipwreck. And no one was hurt, just like God promised. And one of these days, we're going to shipwreck, and we may have to swim to shore, but we will make it to dry land. We'll make it to the promised land, just as God promised. This was a storm that they had to go through, and we have storms that we have to go through. And sometimes we sail into the storm because we don't pay attention. And we could avoid some of these storms if we prepare for the but soon moment.